Indian law classifies the demand, exchange, and enforcement of dowry as severe criminal offenses, prosecuted at the highest level of legal authority. This framework relies on two foundational pillars: the Dowry Prohibition Act of 1961, which established the initial ban, and the 2023 Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, or BNS, which modernizes the enforcement codes. This combined structure removes traditional criminal defense loopholes, shifting from basic financial penalties to non-bailable prosecution and sentences extending to life imprisonment. The 1961 Act defines dowry as any property, cash, or valuable security demanded or exchanged as a direct condition of marriage. Customary gifts are only protected if they are entered into a formally signed list and provided without any prior demand. Section 3 mandates a minimum 5-year prison term and a 15,000 rupee fine for giving and taking dowry. Under Sections 4 and 4A, merely demanding a dowry or publishing a marriage advertisement offering property carries a mandatory jail sentence. Criminal liability is established at the moment of the demand, regardless of whether a marriage takes place or physical violence occurs. When dowry demands involve domestic harassment, the legal system applies BNS Section 85, replacing IPC 498A. The legal threshold for cruelty covers willful conduct likely to drive a woman to suicide or harassment coercing her family into meeting unlawful property demands. Because these offenses are cognizable and non-bailable, police can arrest a husband or his relatives without a warrant. Bail is strictly at a judge's discretion. This specific section allows the state to prosecute severe psychological and economic coercion alongside physical violence. BNS Section 80 addresses dowry death, applying severe penalties when 4 conditions are met: a woman's unnatural death within 7 years of marriage following cruelty or harassment linked to a dowry demand. These conditions trigger a mandatory minimum of 7 years in prison, with the potential for life imprisonment. Section 80 shifts the burden of proof to the accused. The court presumes the husband or relatives caused the death, requiring them to prove innocence. This shift in the burden of proof overcomes evidentiary barriers often created by a lack of direct eyewitnesses within a private home. The combined framework of the 1961 Act and the BNS creates a zero-tolerance environment for dowry practices. These 3 pillars, the foundational ban, the criminalization of cruelty, and the high-stakes penalties for dowry death, function as a unified deterrent. The Indian justice system classifies the demand for dowry as a criminal enterprise, applying mandatory penal codes to every stage of the marriage process.